So, is everybody ready for a story? Okay, so, this is way back. This is when I was in grade 9. That would have made me 14 or 15 years old. And, so this is the story of my grade 9 trip. I don't know if any other Canadians are here. A lot of Canadian schools, when you get to grade 9, after you're done the year, you get to go on a grade 9 trip. You kind of go away with your entire class and your teachers, and you go somewhere. A lot of the Atlantic provinces, at least, do this. And our trip wasn't necessarily as exciting. We were kind of all pissed off because in junior high there's French immersion classes, which are separate classes. They go through their own program in French, and then there's the English side. And I was in the English side, and they had two totally different trips. The French immersion students got to go to like Montreal and something else, somewhere else, and they get to like go around. That awesome. They were there for 9 days. Our 9-day trip was around the Atlantic provinces. The most exciting trip of all times. We get to see such exotic places as Newfoundland and Prince Edward Island and New Brunswick and even our own Nova Scotia. Not the most exciting trip ever, right? So we're already sour about life. Already hating life. So anyway, the big trip day comes, and everybody's got to get up at like 6 in the morning and go meet down at the school. And so we meet down at the school, and we have all of the luggage and stuff. And this was, this was a big thing. For a lot of people, it was the first time being on a trip without their parents, because you're 14 years old. You don't go on a lot of trips without your parents for this period of time. You might go like away for a little bit, but not like necessarily 9 days. And so everybody's packing the stuff into the bus. The bus is in the parking lot, and everybody's packing it in and going and finding their seats and finding, friends that they want to sit in or sit with for, the trip and everything, because everybody kind of uses the same seat the whole trip. And so I find my seat, and I'm sitting next to my best friend, and not my best friend. I started off sitting next to a girl that I knew for my entire life, and we were good friends. We were like brother and sister. And so, I don't turn that into a dirty joke. But we were sitting out next to each other for the first duration, and then shit happened at certain points. She was in a relationship with some other dude, and she didn't want to talk to anybody. She was off sitting by herself. That's beside the story. That's a tangent that has absolutely nothing to do with the bulk of the story. However, I found my seat. I sat down. I've got all my stuff. I've got my Baus. This is like 2000 and what? This is like 2004, 2005, and so I've got my baller Sony CD player. Not even an MP3 player, just like my ballin' Sony CD player. Actually, no, wait, did I? No, it was still a CD player. And I had all my Baus like burnt CDs and shit. I was balling so hard. I had all these burnt CDs. I downloaded a bunch of music, and I ended up listening to like the same 3 CDs for the entire trip. But I had those. I had my earbuds. I was ready to go. I was fucking psyched. I had my camera. I had tons of disposable cameras. Getting ready to take all sorts of pictures. I still have all sorts of pictures. And I was ready to go. So we're sitting there, and everybody's going apeshit, right? Like, it's a bunch of junior high students just like, oh, yeah! They're waving at their parents. Some people are like, I don't even want to see you. Get the hell out of here. Goodbye. I don't know you. You're my parents, but get the hell out of here. I don't want to see you. And there was one of the kids gets up to, like, their parents are trying to talk to them and say goodbye to them, and they're already in the bus, and they don't want to leave the bus. And so they go up and they go to pull the window down. And they end up pulling down a window, like, on a bus, like even like Greyhounds and stuff, certain windows are emergency windows. He was at an emergency window and didn't know it, and so he went and opened the window, and he opened it out like you would in an emergency. And so the buzzer's going off, and it's going ape shit. And immediately, he's saying bye to his parents, but it's just going absolutely friggin' apeshit. It's going, and it's just, that one long tone that just like grinds at your soul. One long tone, just absolutely killing everybody. And the bus driver comes back, tries to close the window. Keep in mind. Okay, let's say the theme of this story is that everything that could go wrong on this trip goes wrong. I just want to throw that out there so you guys have it in your mind. You have it in your mind, it's there. So he opens it up, and he's trying... So the bus driver comes back, and he's trying to close the window, and the window is not closing, and he's trying to slam it, and it's not closing, and the buzzer's still going off. And he's slamming the window, and it won't close. And so he says, as everybody settles down, he says, guys, we've got to go to the bus terminal over in Dartmouth, and we need to get ourselves another bus. And so everybody says, okay, great. We haven't even left the parking lot, we're already fucked. So let's go and get another bus. So, everybody sits down, and the teachers are already kind of livid about this whole situation, and we drive to Dartmouth. So we go across the bridge, it's like a 30-minute drive, we get there, and we're in the bus terminal. And we're sitting there, and we have to get off the bus, and everybody has to take all their bags, and we move it to the second bus. So they find us a second bus, and we all get our bags moved into the second bus, and then the teachers realize that they don't have the desk on the bus that the other one had, and they have to mark homework and shit, because we all have homework to do while we're on this trip. And so that can't do, so we have to get a third bus. So they pull up a third bus, and the third bus comes out, and everybody goes and gets their bags, and everybody brings the bags out of the second bus, and drags them over to the third bus, and puts them into the third bus, and then we all get onto the bus, and we're ready to go, and somebody from the bus terminal comes out and says, wait! Wait! You can't leave. Why can't you leave? Does anybody have a guess why you can't leave? No, don't guess. You'll never guess. The bathroom was broken. The bathroom was freaking broken on the bus. It couldn't do anything, so we had to get a fourth bus. So, at this point, I was sitting there, and I was getting all sorts of... I was a nervous kid. When I was 14, I was quite nervous, and all this stuff was driving me crazy. We've been at the bus terminal now for 4 hours at this point, okay? So we're there for 4 hours. We're supposed to be in Cape Breton by now, and at the hotel, but we're still in Dartmouth, 20 minutes from where we left the school.